Apex Legends is the surprise smash hit that has taken the gaming world by storm. Veteran developer Respawn's attempt to get into the overcrowded battle royale genre, bringing their beloved Titanfall franchise to a much wider audience. Apex Legends' success was so great, it even managed to raise up EA's tanking stock and provide the company with some success, and you can see players' excitement for it. Apex Legends, 25 million players in the first week. Everyone's streaming Apex Legends, everyone's reviewing Apex Legends, it's getting great reviews from the gaming press. Apex Legend is now legendary. But as much as people want to see it conquer the all-encompassing juggernaut that is Fortnite, I don't think it's going to beat it, and there's a fundamental gameplay reason why that is. Stick around, and I'll tell you why I think there's no chance in hell Apex Legends will ever be able to surpass Fortnite. You got Lobster, you got it back yet. Lobster's a 10 out of 10, don't you grab it. So traditionally, I don't do a lot of gaming content on this channel, but I'm a lifelong gamer, and I follow the gaming industry pretty aggressively. So of course, the idea that a big AAA new Battle Royale competitor from the great developers of Respawn Entertainment caught my attention, especially when it was revealed that the entire full-fledged game would be launching within a few days, and it took the world by storm. And people are so sick of Fortnite that they are just dying to see something rip it apart, take it down. Apex Legends is the Fortnite killer we deserve. But having played it, and having played Fortnite, I can tell that's not going to be the case. It's very easy to hate upon something once it becomes all-encompassing and ubiquitous, but I, as a cultural observer, think there is nothing worse that you can do than be dismissive to something that is successful. It might seem cool, it might make you feel better to have a counterculture narrative versus all the kids who love something, but fundamentally, if something is successful, no matter how much you hate it, it means it's doing something well. It is appealing to some sort of need that exists in the market, and you will be a fundamentally better person, or at least a more insightful one, if you can understand why that is. And as obnoxious as Fortnite can be, on a surface level, it does a lot of things very well. A lot of people don't have a long memory. Originally, Fortnite was announced in 2011 at the Video Game Awards, and it was just a teaser trailer. And it took 5 years before we even got to see it. And when it was released to the world, it was a complete bomb, a huge failure. It got miserable reviews. It was basically a sort of Minecraft-light shooter with the endless horde mode, and you know, the save the world mode, nobody plays it, nobody gives a shit about it, and it was pretty much dead on arrival despite several years of development that Epic Games had put into it. Nobody cared. It wasn't a great shooter, it wasn't as deep as Minecraft, it had a weird RPG system that was not as deep as it needed to be and was needlessly convoluted. It was very grindy, but in this new software environment, Epic Games made the smart decision and they were able to pivot by going into the Battle Royale genre, and then Fortnite's weaknesses became its strengths. The shooting in Fortnite is not the best. The crafting in Fortnite, while intuitive, is not as deep as Minecraft. But these two elements, when combined with Battle Royale, they create an incredibly sticky form of gameplay. Now, to explain what makes Fortnite's gameplay so sticky and so perfectly designed, we need to go back a little bit. I'd say the first major game that introduced RPG elements into another genre was Warcraft 3, one of my favorite games of all time. Now, what made Warcraft 3 so great was the fact that it introduced the hero system. So, functionally, everything works like your traditional real-time strategy game, just like StarCraft. You got your units, you got your different tiers, you got your counters, but every faction had 3 to 4 heroes that functioned like RPG characters. So they could level up, they could get items. So within the overall RTS game of Warcraft 3, you had this mini RPG where you would choose your hero, level them up, get them items, fight creeps, fight armies to level up. And what this did is it created a mini gameplay loop within the larger RTS loop of Warcraft 3. Because one of the main problems I find with RTSs is that the early first 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay is extremely repetitive. You're doing the same build order, you're just doing the same thing again and again, and it doesn't really get interesting until, much later. But that sort of repetition means that playing it a lot of games over a long period of time gets repetitive and boring, and, it's one of the reasons why I and many other people stopped playing StarCraft 2. We just got tired of just build orders and build cycles, and it got tedious after a time. But that tedium is mitigated by the fact that within the typical build orders, you're having this mini RPG adventure as you're leading this character around, grinding, leveling, and it's different each time, depending on the hero you pick. And you also have the benefits of having a leveling system. The leveling system makes it far more engaging. And it's from this pillar that the entire MOBA genre sprang up. That's the core appeal of MOBAs in general, the fact that you're playing this sort of self-contained mini RPG in every match. You level up your character, you get more abilities, you buy items, and because you have this progression loop that is naturally enticing with a competitive loop, that's what makes MOBA so addictive. And the fact that every, 30 to 45 minute game can feel like a whole RPG progression system. Combine that with the competitive aspect of crushing real humans, and you have a great formula. And it all stemmed from Warcraft 3. Now, in terms of the mainstream gaming, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was the first application of leveling mechanics into a non-RPG setting, and it was so successful that now every single multiplayer game has some sort of RPG leveling system where you rank up and you gain new perks or weapons or, customization items, and everything has it. It's a loop that keeps people on the treadmill, keeps them engaged, and keeps them rewarded. And it's in every single genre. Some games do it better, some games do it worse. But now it's like a standard feature of every multiplayer progression system. So this applies to Fortnite in that it's perfectly balanced as a multiplayer game, in that it has very short gameplay sessions, in that you can die early, but if you survive and do well, you can have long, satisfying gameplay sessions that last 25 to 30 minutes. And there is, while, there's no XP directly in the game, there is sort of an RPG progression system in the game overall. And that is through the looting and the shooting, getting crafting materials, finding weapons, and, if you survive, you get better weapons, better shields, better armor, more unique items. So basically, by the end, when you have the last 5-10 people facing off, it's an epic showdown with people who all have the gear and equipment, the best stuff in the game, facing each other down with all of their resources. The looting and the shooting mechanic are their own RPG utility in terms of, people getting epic and legendary weapons and gear. You have this great gameplay loop where you have the building of Minecraft, the looting and shooting of Borderlands, and the sort of pseudo RPG mechanic of getting better equipment, and the longer you avoid combat, the more you win. And even if you die early, you can just start up a new game. So Fortnite can be played in quick sessions, it can be played in longer sessions. There's of course the progression through the battle pass, and it's this great gameplay loop that just keeps you coming back again and again. Apex Legends gameplay loop is a much more traditional shooter, and mechanically as a shooter, I'd say it's much better than Fortnite. But because it's more lined up as a traditional shooter, it means its gameplay is a lot less varied than Fortnite's. You don't have the building or the crafting element where you can interact with the world. All you can do is run around with your squad. And fundamentally, the characters aren't quite as deep as they need to be, or they don't play as differently as they need to be to feel distinct. Because the game has such a high consequence for death, it also means that you don't get to use your abilities as often, and there's a lot more room for failure in using your character's abilities. Like, for example, take Reinhardt, the conventional tank in Overwatch. He's a big tank, his shield covers like half the area, and you can activate it at any time. And, the more limited corridors in most of the environments in Overwatch give you a better opportunity to serve as that shield. While Gibraltar has a comparatively tiny shield that doesn't last that long, and it's very easy to flank. So he doesn't really feel very tanky. I wanted to love the character, but I felt like I couldn't serve as a tank, and I just kept on getting shot up, and my shield was next to useless. Because that central idea behind Apex Legends is to sort of combine Battle Royale with the character shooter of Overwatch. But the character shooter elements of Overwatch don't really mesh well with the Battle Royale genre. And because there's fundamentally less variety in Apex Legends, it means that this is something that's going to stagnate. People love the Blackout mode in Black Ops 4, but I feel that has fallen away from the cultural consciousness just because it stayed the same. It hasn't changed. The gameplay is very solid, but the key strength of Fortnite is because it is so malleable, it allows Epic Games to keep on adding new content. And that is the greatest strength of Fortnite. As a SaaS game, or software as service, it is the king. There are constantly new updates. There are free roaming things where you can just build stuff. There's a creation section where you can put in your custom creations, have a chance to be featured in people's games. There are always new events. There are always new weapons. There are new seasons, which add fundamentally new elements to the map, and as well as events. Every few weeks, there is something new in Fortnite. Some new gameplay twist, some new mode, something like Thanos coming in that makes you want to come back, and this is very important, because it keeps people engaged. It keeps them always wanting to pop up, and the fact that there's crossplay is also brilliant as well, that it's on every single platform. It runs great on a high-end PC, but it can also run decently on a phone. It can run on your Nintendo Switch. It can run on every mainstream console. It means that there's always a way to play Fortnite. While Apex Legends is on a lot of platforms, it isn't on all of the platforms. And the core fundamental gameplay means that there's going to be less variety. It will always be a squad-based 3-person shooter, and people will get sick of it because it can't change, it can't become different, and that is what Fortnite does, is that it can always shift. It is a fluid beast, and Epic Games has the resources to keep on updating it, include new challenges, new gameplay elements. Even within the past few months, we've seen vehicles added to Fortnite, we've seen planes, we've seen a Marshmallow concert, and in the future, what are we going to see in Apex Legends? Are we going to see like a solo queue where it's not a 3-person squad-based shooter? Are we going to see special game types, or are we just going to see the same thing again and again? And fundamentally, customization is the worst thing for a battle royale in terms of weapon skins. Because randomized loot means you're not going to get the same weapon every game, which means how are you going to show off your weapon skins if you consistently don't get the weapons you want? It makes that feature absolutely useless. It's not an effective gameplay stick to keep people engaged. And it's fun to hate upon Fortnite because everyone hates the children, everyone hates the fact that it's become such a ubiquitous success. But within that success, you have to respect how much variety Epic Games puts into the gameplay of Fortnite to keep it relevant and keep it going. Not to say that I think Apex Legends is bad, I think it's a very well put together AAA quality experience, and I want Respawn to succeed because I think they're a great developer. And I would like to see real Titanfall games. But I feel this is going to be a flash in the pan. That within 3 to 6 months, its player base will be evaporated, and they will have gone back to playing Fortnite because Fortnite has a new Thanos event. And as much as everyone wants to see something take down Fortnite in the overcrowded Battle Royale genre, it's not going to happen unless someone can create a new gameplay form that has the same creativity and variety that Fortnite offers, as well as a constant update of new content. Because it's more than just Battle Royale that keeps Fortnite at the top. It is a constant evolving stream of new gameplay options and rewards that keep players engaged. And it's easy to hate on its ubiquity. It's easy to hate on it like, kids hated on Britney Spears or Justin Timberlake in the 90s. But within that success, there's something to admire because there is something that Fortnite has managed to capture that few games do. And it's one of the few things that only the gaming industry has, where iteration can somehow lead to improvement and success, where something that was a complete bomb and a complete failure can become a billion-dollar sensation overnight. And I think there's something to respect in that. And that's why I don't think Apex Legends is ever going to kill Fortnite. As much as some people want it to, as much as people want to see Fortnite go away, you need that element of RPG looting, crafting, and combat, that perfect symmetry if you're going to want to compete. And Apex Legends is enough for a flash in the pan, but not forever. But hey, maybe it'll at least get us Titanfall 3. Or maybe if Respawn is really feeling bold, they'll put Titans in Apex Legends. I'd love to see that. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm always curious to hear what your response is towards my gaming-focused content. I have a big new video I'm working on. It's pretty much finished, but there's one element that I'm working on securing to make it something above and beyond anything else you've ever seen on YouTube. If it comes through, you'll see it. Look for it sometime next month. I think it's going to be pretty great. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video. And remember, lobsters and tennis, don't you grab it.